Hello, everyone. This is Dino Chris from Prehistoric Facts, and this is Prehistoric Facts Extra Episode number 76. We're back to the Extinction Profile series, and we're going to be talking about the fourth mass extinction in Earth's history, and that would be the Triassic extinction. So, the end of the Triassic period. So, let's actually talk about this type of extinction here. So, talk about the Triassic period. So, the Triassic period is in the Mesozoic era, and it was range in this time range is a 252 to 201 million years ago. And what we see in the fossil record in the Triassic period is that reptiles dominate. Reptiles dominate everywhere. They dominate the land, they dominate the sea, and they dominate the air. And so reptiles were everywhere. Reptiles dominated. Like I said, they dominated the planet, and there are certain types of animals that have appeared that would be showing up in the Triassic period as pterosaurs. Pterosaurs showed up in the Triassic period, and dinosaurs. The first dinosaurs are pretty much classified to be the first, or pretty much I should say, the first dinosaurs are from the Triassic period. So dinosaurs started out small, so did pterosaurs. So you got all that kind of out of the way. Is that pterosaurs and dinosaurs started out small. They were not the top dogs in their environment, but even though that pterosaurs dominated the sky, so they were the top predators in the sky, marine reptiles were the top dogs in the sea, like ichthyosaurs, nothosaurs. But then you get to the land, and archosaurs were the top predators. So you got your phytosaurs, your rauisuchids. Those were the top predators at that time. And of course, the plants around that time would have been putting up trees, ferns, and cycads. There were no flowers and no grass during that time. And you had this one giant supercontinent called Pangea. And everybody knows Pangea. Pangea is the supercontinent that everybody knows is where you see like all the seven major continents were joined together to create this huge supercontinent. And yeah, and Pangea was around during the Permian, and it went all the way into the Triassic period. So you can see in the geologic time scale, so where you can see in the geologic time scale, the Mesozoic era. This is the iconic era of that everybody knows. So this is the age of reptiles, so to speak. But mainly, really, the age of reptiles began in the Permian up here. Began in the Permian up here, and then it's pretty much continued on into the Mesozoic. So you have the age of reptiles in the Mesozoic era, and you can see the Triassic is in purple here, and that's how you can see right here is the Triassic was right there. So this is an old image of what the Triassic ecosystems possibly did look like. And so you had a bunch of types of reptiles around. And so here's one of the rauisuchids, and you got some of the like mammal-like reptile type of creatures right there. This is a type of dicynodont. You got a type of cynodont, or um, a reptile that is starting to look more like a mammal. So this is a mammal-like reptile right here. And you got your dinosaurs right here, and you got your pterosaurs. So you have all the different kinds of animals that you can find here. Now to the cause of the extinction. Pangea began to break apart at the end of the Triassic period. Volcanic eruptions were the main reason that this extinction was caused. And what this volcanic region that you see here on this map of Pangea is what is called CAMP, or the Central Atlantic Magmatic Province. So this is a large area here of volcanic rocks, is where Pangea was pretty much broken apart. So you can see parts of Europe, North America, Africa, and South America had these types of rocks, these volcanic rocks, where some of these rocks you can still find the same type of rocks on the coastlines of some of these continents. You can see that they're very similar, and also you can see where like you can kind of put the continents kind of together like a puzzle piece to know that like, hey, there used to be a supercontinent that was around. And so that's why you have this huge amount of this like volcanic rock that is on the coastlines of say the East Coast in the United States, some parts of Europe, the western coast of Africa, the northern western coast of Africa, and even got some parts of northeast South America. So that is the Central Atlantic Magmatic Province, or otherwise nicknamed, or otherwise shortened to CAMP. So what these volcanic eruptions did is that they did acidify the oceans. The oceans got really, really warm, and so that would acidify these oceans and make life very hard to live in the oceans. Of course, carbon dioxide levels rose at that point in time, so they heated up the atmosphere. So a lot of these animals are that were used to a certain type of environmental temperature, all of a sudden that temperature it just increased, and that was a big problem for these animals that could not adapt to those types of temperatures. There is a possibility of a meteor strike that did happen, but what the meteor strike had, when the meteor strike happened, it was happened before this event. That happened before the event. I know there was like this theory out there that like maybe an asteroid or meteor did hit the Earth around the end of the Triassic period, and that was a cause of the extinction. But that's not likely the case. The likely case is these volcanic eruptions. But what these volcanic eruptions did do, because of the splitting apart of Pangea, this would be the beginning of the Atlantic Ocean. The Atlantic Ocean that we know today began because began from the Triassic extinction. The animals that have fallen or have went extinct. So 23 to 34% of marine life died out. And so that is a good significant number of marine life that has died out. Now, there would have been plenty of plankton that have died out, but of course we all know that smaller organisms tend to usually adapt pretty quickly, and of course some of the larger animals did adapt quick as well. But we actually see here is that certain types of brachiopods that were around at that point in time started to go extinct uh, at the Triassic period. So, because brachiopods were already in decline all the way back in the Devonian, there were still some remnants of brachiopods that were around in the Triassic, but they were really on their last legs in the Triassic. And so this was one of their causes. In but we don't know a lot of what kinds of marine animals that have died out. And certain types of fishes did die out. Other types of invertebrates and corals did have an effect on there. But the land animals, that was where you see certain types of extinction. So like the atosaurs are kind of like the pseudoseuchids. So these would be like say Desmatasuchus, an armored plant-eating reptile, and these would be the omnivorous or the plant-eating reptiles that were around the medium to large size reptiles. The phytosaurs, so this would have been like say Rudiodon, for example. Rudiodon was a phytosaur. Those went extinct. Even the Rhiasuchids, like say Postosuchus and Prestosuchus, but Prestosuchus died out earlier, for early, basically like in the beginning of the late I shouldn't say the beginning of the late Triassic, more sort of like say when the late Triassic was already in its beginning, and then you had Postosuchus that died out more likely, let's say like 210 million years ago. But some of the last of the Phytosaurs, Rhiasuchids, and Atosaurs died out because of this extinction. Even the temnospondyl amphibians, so these would have been the really large amphibians that were still trying to survive, but they were pretty much in decline because of this extinction. There were some that stuck around, but in the Jurassic they did not survive for very long. There would have been some that survived that stayed in the southern hemisphere of the continents, and of course the non-mammalian therapsids, so the reptile looking more like therapsids died out as well. And so these mammal-like reptiles started to die out uh, from this extinction as well. Then you got the survivors. There were plenty of survivors for this extinction. You got the pterosaurs. The pterosaurs survived because they were small enough and they were adaptable to the changing environment. Ichthyosaurs and other marine reptiles did survive as well. The mammalian therapsids, so these are animals that look like mammals, of course, and they were becoming be more like mammals. The crocodilomorphs, so these would have been part of the Archosaur family, but they actually were more related to the actual crocodile, the crocodilians that we know today. Plenty of fishes and sharks and all that sorts of stuff. Invertebrates survived, insects, and other types of invertebrates, and of course, dinosaurs survived. But this extinction, the Triassic extinction, gave rise to the age of dinosaurs. So the Jurassic is when dinosaurs really took over the earth. They took over after this extinction. That's when they started to get larger, started to become more like top predators, and of course, the biggest land animals to have ever existed. And so, can thank the Triassic extinction for the rise of the dinosaurs in the beginning of the age of dinosaurs. So, yeah, and that's how it was. So the next episode will be on September 21st, 2023, and that'll be know what kind of prehistoric animal I'm going to talk about. So stay tuned for that. And you can still send me questions about dinosaurs and other prehistoric life by emailing me at dinochrist71@gmail.com. Let's go to my Facebook page, Prehistoric Facts with Dino Chris. Like the page, you actually post your questions in the comment section. Please put your questions in the comment section. Don't put them on Messenger, messages for private conversations. And so make sure you do that. Keep your questions and put your questions in the comment section. And also for you YouTubers out there, like the video, subscribe to the channel. According to my analytics, a lot of you guys are checking out my channel, not subscribed yet. So please feel free to hit that like button, because that's how the YouTube algorithm works now, is that the more likes the video gets, the more likely it gets spread out to people that are interested in dinosaurs, prehistoric life, paleontology, geology in general. So that way, it gets spread out that way. And also share the videos, share the videos, share the channel to anybody that is interested in dinosaurs and other prehistoric life. Feel free to do so, and also hit that notification bell so that way you can get weekly notifications of every video that comes out. And also for YouTubers out there, leave your questions in the comment section, because I do read them all. Your questions mean a lot. All of you that have sent me questions via email, Facebook, and YouTube, you guys are awesome and giving me some great questions in the Q&A episodes. Keep up the great work for doing that. And also make sure you keep your questions short to the point. You can also follow me on Instagram at dino.chris.pf. I post pretty cool stuff on there. You can also follow me on Threads the same way, at dino.chris.pf. I post pretty cool stuff on there as well. Also, take care of the people around you. And also, for your younger people out there, and most of you listening, your parents, your teachers, and your guardians, it's the best motivation you can have a good education. It's very important to have good education. With a good education, you get a good job in the future. Okay, I can announce this. And so, on October 3rd, 2023, from 6 to 7 p.m. Central Time, at the Everett Roll Marshfield Public Library in Marshfield, Wisconsin, I have another public library event, and that would be on that type of day, October 3rd, and this is in the evening. So if you can make it to Marshfield, Wisconsin on October 3rd, uh, at this particular kind of time, 6 to 7 p.m. Central Time, I will be bringing some actual fossils, minerals, and replicas of fossils with me to show everybody in the Marshfield Public Library. So if you can make it to the Marshfield Public Library, that'll be great. You can actually check out some of the cool stuff that I have on display for this event, and make sure you show up for this event, because I would like to see you guys take a look at all my collection, and also you can ask me questions about any of the stuff that is on those tables. And remember, all the stuff that you see on the tables are not for sale. They're basic. They're pretty much display only stuff. So please make sure that you realize that, because I know there's going to be some people that will ask me, are any of these for sale? And I'd say no. And so yeah, so make sure you check out all the stuff that is actually going to be there, and also come and say hello to me as well. So make sure you're in Marshall, Wisconsin on October 3rd, 6 to 7 p.m. Central Time at the Everett Roll Marshfield Public Library. And that's it for now, and I'll see you guys next time.